So many parents ask me, how can I text my child who is alienated so they reunite with me? How can I text my estranged child so they come back? My child doesn't want to come see me. How can I text them so that they want to see me again? How can I text my child so I can go to their graduation, to their wedding? How can I text them just to know that my kid is alive? How do I text my child when I'm blocked? I get questions like this all the time, such as how do I text my child when I'm blocked? How do I text my alienated child so they text me back and I can develop a loving relationship with them? So before I reveal you the secrets, and also before I tell you some amazing things that we have coming up on how you can reunite, why should you listen to me? Who am I? I'm gingergentile. I'm known as the Erased Child Whisperer. I reunite families by reversing parental alienation. That's when a child aligns with a parent after a high conflict divorce or even a step parent, rejecting their other parent, their other side of the family for no particular reason, and this is the healthy parent. So for those of you who are joining us right now, I want you to write connect. Just type in connect in the chat so I know that you're listening, so we get you some amazing free resources on how to reunite. And I work with parents who haven't seen their kids in 20 years to reunite. I work with parents of young children to reunite. I work with parents who are going through court battles to reunite. I work with parents who nothing else has worked to reunite. Basically, what I have found is it doesn't matter how bad your alienation case is. It only matters if you show up and you do the work. So let's get started. Here are the patterns that I see when parents are texting and the biggest things to avoid. And then I'm going to reveal at the end what is the big tip that will make your texting game go from 0 to a hero. So stay tuned. What I see a lot of is that parents are trying to heal a relationship that is severely damaged, respond to their kids, apologize, invite them to see each other, all this stuff on text. Texting is possibly the worst medium in the history of the world for communication. Think about all the times you misunderstand somebody over a text message. Think about all the times, I don't know, have you ever done online dating, how you can mess up understanding via texting, right? And you're all there writing Bibles, writing Shakespeare sonnets to your kids over text. And they go this long thing, you're not my mom, you're violating my boundaries, I'm gonna call the cops on you, why'd you do that, why'd you break up with dad, you served me oatmeal when I was 5 and you know I don't like oatmeal, and then you go, that's not true, I never served oatmeal, I only served oatmeal once when you were 6 years old, not 5, and that's because you requested the oatmeal. We're getting on the train to crazy town. Get off the train of answering over text messages. So if you take one big takeaway from today over text messages, it's you cannot heal, you cannot solve, you cannot reunite over text. Now I'm going to tell you how you can, but if you accept that you can't and you approach your texting game as just you are creating an opening, you are creating a reminder to your child that you exist and you love them, you are going to be so much more effective in your texting game. And now you, as a loving parent, can put a boundary saying, I'd love to talk about this more. How about we get on a phone call or a Zoom or meet in person? Because texting isn't a great medium for this. I'm not young like you. It's hard for me to answer over text. Let's meet up. But get out of the arguments over text. You will never win. They are a trap, and you are falling into the trap over and over again, over and over again, over and over again. What can you heal over text? Nothing. But you can reunite over text. So where's the contradiction? I'm sure some of you are saying, okay, Ginger, you said, how do I text to reunite? But you're saying you can't heal the relationship. You have to look at texting as just a way to get your foot in the door. That's it. Just a way to get your foot in the door. So first of all, we're never going to argue over text. We're never going to apologize over text. We're never going to do deep emotional work over text. Texting is just to lead to a meeting. Now, I know some of you are completely blocked. I know some of you don't know if your texts are being responded to. Or you know your child's reading them, but they don't respond. So here's what we're going to do in your case. And I learned this when I made the Erasing Family documentary. And a lot of parents are scared to watch the film, but it's a film about reuniting. It has a happy ending. And in the film, one of the dads, Dizzy, he reunites with his daughter, Ashlyn, right away. She turns 18, even before her 18th birthday, a week before. She finds him. They hug. It's like a movie. She lives with him. It's all great. But he has another child. And when I made the movie, so this was 5 years after they reunited, he still hadn't reunited with his other child, who was an adult. And I actually interviewed her for the movie, and she goes, Dizzy is not my dad. He's a sperm donor. It's just blood and DNA. I want nothing to do with him. And when the movie came out, Dizzy said, thank you for telling my story, but it's bittersweet because I reunited with one daughter, but not the other. But now here's the amazing part. Dizzy reunited with his other daughter, and texting played a role in it. And this is with the big aha moment. And I just copy what works. I don't come up with theories on how to heal and reverse parental alienation. I don't study what the experts say. I just say, show me what works, and then let's copy it. Let's create a simple solution to a complex problem. And Dizzy had been reunited almost for the entire life of his daughter, okay? He saw her like a few times. This was bad alienation. And even with a filmmaker like me, imagine I sat down with your kid, which is everyone's fantasy. Ginger will sit down with my kid and tell them right. I did that. Still didn't reunite. Didn't reunite after the movie came out. I even tried to bribe them and said, I'll pay for all of you to go on a trip if I can reunite you on camera or just fight on camera. Didn't want to take the bait. Okay, gave up a free trip. So how did Dizzy reunite? So I follow him and I talk with him, we're friends. And the first thing he said to me is I watched that movie and I realized how angry I was at the judge, at the system, at the child support system, and at my ex, at everybody. And I had to let that anger go. I had to heal. I had to learn new communication skills. I had to go to therapy. And whatever you do, if you do not heal, your texts will not work. And once you heal, they will work. And I'll tell you another story in a second with a dad I worked with who reunited after one session with me with just 3 text messages. So what does Dizzy start to do? After he did this healing, and this took a year or 2, it can take quicker if you have a coach leading you through it. But if you're doing it on your own, it can take a while. He starts texting his daughter, I hope you have a great day. I love you. I'm so proud of you. No need to respond. Not can we get together? Can we see each other? Can we talk? This is what happened. Just I love you. Thinking of you. No need to respond. I love you. I'm thinking of you. No need to respond. And this goes on for 2 years. And then she starts texting him back, thanks. After a year of no response, she texts back thanks. He did not give up. Then they start having conversations on text, but they're always light and happy. They're not talking about the past. Then they get on a phone call. And she says, I'm still not ready to say I love you. I'm still not ready to call you dad, but I'm ready to meet you. And now they finally took that family vacation together and he reunited with all of his children. Because he realized he had it to heal, he had it to wait, he had it to lead and not pressure. And so many of you are pressuring, inviting over text. How many of you here have dated? You all have kids. I'm assuming you dated at some point. If you try to sleep with someone on the first date, they're going to slap you silly. You got to get to know the person. And these kids don't know you if you've been alienated for a long time. And you're trying to get to the chase too quickly. And I'm using this dating metaphor for a reason. With adult children and teenage children, you have to rebuild that relationship just like you were dating somebody. And that takes time if you're building a solid foundation. Now I'm going to tell one little quick story. I worked with another dad. And in one session, his case was rough. He was alienated from his 7-year-old daughter and his 2 adult sons from another mother. And in one session, he admitted that he was holding on to pain and blaming the system and everybody else but himself. And he was willing to let that pain go and try something different. And then against my advice, he texted his 2 adult kids. And instead of saying, I'm your dad, why don't you respond to me? Which is what he always would do before. And they would say, F you, you're not my dad. Sound familiar? He said, hey, how's life? He told me this. I was like, kind of a crappy text message if you ask me, not what I would have written. Guess what? It worked. Because he had healed. Sometimes healing can happen quickly. Sometimes it takes years, but you have to heal first for the text messages to work. And now he's in a relationship with both of his adult sons, and he changed the way he texted the mom of his young daughter. And he went from no visitation, just phone calls, to seeing her regularly without going back to court. If you want to reunite fast, take it slow. And work with somebody who's been through it. Copy what works. You, in general, always want to keep it light. You're not pressuring them, okay? I'll see you on the other side. I hope you all reunite right away. You reunite quickly. And remember, the parents who reunited follow the same steps, which is what I teach in the roadmap. See you soon. Bye.